Hi guys, Nathan here, and today I want to have a little chat about Call of Duty releasing a multiplayer starter pack. Now what that is basically just saying you can buy the multiplayer on its own. No single player, no zombies, and for a reduced price. I believe in the US, oh by the way, someone in here has actually got it, so that kind of illustrates my point fairly well. But I believe in the US it's out at $15, and in the UK £14, which isn't a very good equivalency rate to you knobheads at Activision. Please realise that £14 does not equal $15. But anyway, now I want to have a chat about whether that's good for consumers, which I think on the whole it probably is, or whether or not there are some slight downsides to it. Maybe it's a little bit of money grabbing, a little bit, and maybe whether or not this will mean good things in the future or bad things in the future. Now I think it's key to point out that initially, but before I start that actually, I'm going to be playing this live. So yeah, that should be fun, because I suck at this game when I'm not commentating, so that's going to be great. But I think the initial point we need to make is that most people buy this game, buy Call of Duty every year or every other year or whenever they buy it, purely for the multiplayer. I don't think there's that many people who buy this for the campaign. And I was one of the people who did. I really liked the campaign in some of the old Call of Duties, but this one I played 2, maybe 3 missions of it, and it was god-awful. Like, the worst campaign I've played in a game in a long time. And yet I have been having quite a lot of fun with the multiplayer. So I think that splitting the multiplayer up and buying on its own, great for consumers, because not a lot of people, in my mind, actually want the single player. And if it had been at launch that they'd said, yeah, you can just buy the single player on its own, I would have been all for that. I mean the multiplayer on its own, not the single player, Jesus. Because I don't give a crap about the single player. If they'd have said, give us $15 or £14 for the multiplayer on its own at launch, I would have done that all day long. You are terrible, sir, because I suck. And I still managed to do that. Now overall, this obviously means more choice for consumers, because you get to choose what bits you want, and that is good. However, I never see this happening at launch. They're never going to say you can have the choice at launch, because there are a lot of people who just want to play the multiplayer who will pay $60 or £55, I believe it is in the UK, just to play the multiplayer. Because they don't want the full game, but they want the multiplayer that badly, and I am actually doing really well. I should commentate over these more often. So I don't think this will ever come out on launch. Now, great, it's come out 5 or 6 months after, that's fantastic, and I can see that being the way it'll go in the future, because they'll have already captured the people who are willing to pay more, and then they'll get the people who weren't for the multiplayer. As for whether this will ever come to console, though, I don't know, because there's so much less competition on console. You've basically got Call of Duty versus Star Wars Battlefront, maybe? And Rainbow Six Siege to a certain extent. Battlefield 4 has got to be getting towards dead on console, and Battlefield Hardline just isn't a great game. So on console, you know, that's kind of it. Whereas on PC, there are so many shooters you can pay for that are cheaper, that you're going to have fun with. We're talking CSGO is obviously huge, Overwatch is coming, that's going to be big, Squad, Insurgency, yeah, that's one of them. There's so many games I thought he jumped off the map, that's why I reloaded. Shit. Whereas on console, COD has such a massive market share. So I see releasing this game at $15 or £14 as a way to improve the amount of the market they have. And it's not a bad idea. And it gets them more money, because people who weren't willing to buy the game in the first place will now buy it for less money. Come on, thank you. But like I said, I don't think we'll see this at launch. Now, I don't think they would do this on console in an ideal universe, and I don't know how much of a dick they're willing to be, because they would make less money from it on console, I think. I think there's less point to them to do it on console. However, people will bitch. If this comes to PC and not console, people will be mad. We've seen this so many times where people will complain about not getting something that someone else has, and they're perfectly in the right to do so. So if Activision are willing to say, screw that, you'll buy our game anyway, then they should be okay. They'll get a lot of bad press, but do they care? I don't know. I think they probably will care, and that might force them to do it on console. I don't know though. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about as to whether this might actually be a negative is the fact that this is timed on PC, which clearly means it's an experiment. because otherwise you just do it anyway. If you're sure that it's going to work, why the hell would you time the thing? You're just going to release it and say, there you go. So what they're really doing, to my mind, is gathering data. Is this going to sell more copies of the game? Yes, it is, but how many more? And do people care enough about the single player? Because if they sell, god damn it, hundreds of thousands of copies, which they won't, of this multiplayer starter pack, then are they just going to go, well, people only care about the multiplayer, so why would we make single player anymore? And then if they start charging $60 for a multiplayer only, which I've bitched about in the past, then I would be annoyed. I think he's AFK, but I'll take the kill anyway. Games like Star Wars Battlefront and Rainbow Six Siege have released recently at $60 or full price wherever you are. I don't know why I keep saying the dollar version of it, because I'm in the UK, so £55 here. And they haven't replaced the single player they got rid of with anything else. It's just been multiplayer of the same standard. Now if they said, we've got rid of single player, but multiplayer is awesome and there's so much of it and there's 50 million guns, and obviously I don't like all the guns actually, I think that's bloating a bit too much, but they didn't add anything that they replaced, that the single player would have been replaced for. So if this did cause Call of Duty to go multiplayer only and they didn't release more maps than usual and more guns with better mechanics, then I'd be a little bit pissed off. Now we already know the next Call of Duty is coming out, and I think it's Infinity Ward this time, and they released statements saying they are doing it this year. So I don't think we'll see any repercussions from this for the next game, because that will have already been in development for 3 years, I think they do it for now. It's a 3-year cycle with different developers, isn't it? So therefore they'll have already worked on their single player campaign long before this data comes out. However, in the next few years, will we see this cause Call of Duty to go multiplayer only? I really hope not, because they're not going to drop their price. They're not going to say, we don't want $60, I suck, $60 or £55 anymore. They're just going to say, well, it's multiplayer only now, keep giving us money. Because people will. People will bitch about it, but they'll keep giving them money. And this because it's not a bad game. I'm not a big Call of Duty player, but I enjoy this game a little bit. It's got some fun elements to it. Now, last time I checked, Steam Spy didn't have the data for the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer pack, so I can't tell you how well it's actually doing. But my assumption is, having gone in quite a few lobbies, that people are buying this thing. People want it, because people want the multiplayer. So I think it's doing quite well, and I can see them releasing these again. I can also see the current one that is timed out, I think, in a couple of days. It might actually be in a week or something like that. They're going to extend that. I think they'll just make that a permanent thing and say, yes, you can always buy the Call of Duty multiplayer pack for $15 or £14. And I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, other than maybe people will see, I don't know, YouTube videos of people talking about this and want to buy it, and they'll pay $60 for it again, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyone who wanted the game badly enough to pay $60 already has it. So let's do conclusion time. Overall, is this a good thing? Yeah, I think it is. I really do. And it's not very often I'll say about a developer, particularly one like Activision, that they're doing a good thing. And believe me, I don't think they're doing it purely out of the goodness of their hearts. It makes financial sense for them, it makes business sense, and they're going to get more people playing the game, which is only a good thing for them. So I think from both parties, consumers get more choice. The ones who want the game but don't want to pay $60 get to do that and get to have fun. And the company gets more money. They get to get those people who weren't going to pay $60, they're only going to pay $15 to get the game and enjoy it. So overall, I think this is probably a good thing. There is a slight possibility to go wrong in the future with games going more multiplayer only. I can't see that happening. I think the Call of Duty formula is already there. Whether other games will do it, I finished second on the leaderboard while commentating. Hello. Anyway, whether other games will do it or not, I don't know. Other games already seem to go multiplayer only anyway, so this isn't going to affect that trend too much. But anyway, I think that'll wrap it up for today. Look at that. I should commentate over these more often. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like underneath. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And subscribe if you haven't already, because that really helps me out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.